Detective Comics 937, written by James Tynion IV, art by Alvaro Martinez, and I'm trying to keep a sort of, other than the new book's always been at the front, I'm trying to keep a similar sort of structure to the order of the books now. So you're always going to go Batman, Superman at the start. So hence why it's Detective Action at the start of the show. So Detective 937, another solid issue. I don't think it's as amazing as the past issue, but it's
No,
not.
but it's showing consistency from Tynion.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
When I say it's not as amazing, I don't think it's actually dropped in quality. I think it's just that this part of the plot's not as exciting as the last issue. So
It's because it's kind of mostly the action stuff, like moving forward, rather than the character beats that we've been getting in the last few.
yeah, and that can still be exciting, of course. But I think there was some good stuff to be had here, though. So we had Batman being captured by, well, what do they call themselves again? The Colony? Or was that the
Yeah.
other? Yeah.
Colony, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's captured, and you've got these two like sort of like runts like going through his utility belt and finding all sorts of random crap, including what looked like a bit of kryptonite.
Yeah.
Which cracked me up.
Hope it's lead lined.
Oh,
Really hope that pouch is lead lined.
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it is. You know what Batman's like.
He's very
Oh, I
considerate,
know.
isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
I just,
he's on the ball.
you guys know how I feel about Batman, but I really love this page. Just the never ending stuff in his utility
Yeah.
belt.
See, this is where I wasn't sure if you'd love this or hate it. Because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, they're showing you what's in it, but look how much fucking stuff he has on him.
Well, it's kind of a running joke how much crap he crams onto his
Yeah.
utility belt.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all the different syringes. Like, come on.
They're just laid out in a row. There's like six
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And I think Tinian is self-aware in that is that he's like, okay, how can this get ridiculous? Because at first it's like lock picks and his rebreather, which we've seen, and like a laser cutter, the practical stuff. And then you start getting to the different antidotes that he might need at any given moment. Because remember, he wasn't investigating like the Joker or Scarecrow when he got attacked.
Yeah, these are just emergency ones.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
who
so-
knows what nut job you're going to run into though? Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know. If you're me, if I'm Batman, I'm not running around with needles in a pouch because
And
you know.
that's why you're not Batman, man.
The
I
thing
would
is,
no, hey,
No,
I would
I'm-
keep them in the Bat plane or on the Bat cycle or in the Batmobile.
I'm
you
with
know.
Matt. They don't even seem to have little plastic casings over the needle. They're just like literally exposed. That cannot be hygienic.
It's nice to know that Matt will still keep the trend of naming everything Bat something if he's Batman, though.
Of course. I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
like obligation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't read
But no,
too
I-
much into the syringes not having the things. I assumed they were like, I don't know. Maybe there's little plastic holders inside the utility belt that they actually
Maybe,
come out
maybe
of.
Batman just doesn't give a fuck about hygiene.
No, he doesn't. Clearly, he spits his tooth out. Okay.
It's not his real tooth. He's put that in
Yeah.
there. It's a
Which
plan.
means, so in his training, he's had to lose a bunch of teeth, right? Like,
Yeah,
that
I
just
assume so.
happens. So he has a big gap now, and but no, I like that. Again, this book makes me question, not totally question, but my distaste of Batman because this is what happens when Batman's written correctly. I feel.
When you
Like
have some
this-
fun with it.
Yeah, because this takes me back to when I started reading comics and like Dini had that run on Detective,
Yeah,
and those
good.
were like issues of the cartoon brought to life.
Yeah, even when he did a a Hush arc, it was
Yeah.
it was
That's really
solid
good.
fun.
Hush. Yeah.
So
So, but yeah, it's very tongue in cheek. It's not this serious, which I did like a lot of Snyder's Batman, but it always felt so self serious. It kind of became a chore to read at points. And here, I can't wait to get to the next page just to see what else is going to happen.
well, the colony's base is called the Cave because they're sticking with this whole Batman theme thing. The rest of the Bat family are trudging through tunnels and having their banter as they do, and we find out that Tim has used this. So basically, the backstory here is that they were building a subway system in Gotham, but they built it to the wrong specifications and the trains wouldn't fit. So it was easier for them to build another layer of subway system above it. So Tim has
I don't know why
taken.
they don't just carve out an extra 3 inches.
I know
of it.
you think it would be, but hey, let's just go with it. And
Yeah.
Tim has used this original underground system that has been completely abandoned to build a private network for him and the Bat family to use in their own little bat trains.
Fucking cool as shit.
It is so Batman. It's not even funny. Like in Forever, not yeah, in Forever, where he leaves Wayne Tower in that weird pod, and he ends up in the Batcave.
Yeah.
It's like that is so impractical. And then here you turn it, and it's the complete opposite.
It's
You
the
know?
thing. It's like that's Tim. He's taken something ridiculous and made it like useful.
Do you know what I like about it though? I like that there is a backstory to it. There was this thing that was already there. Because I'm not saying that they could conceivably build an entire subway system. It's it's already there, and I like that it'll at least help explain in future Bat books. Oh, how does such and such get around the city so quick? Well, they've just established they've got a
Just a little shuttle train.
yeah.
Do you reckon it's like a Japanese bullet? You know, where it's like fucking that quick. And it's just
looks like
bang
it.
across the city.
It looks kind of like it. So
Yeah, it does.
it's really cool. It's really cool. Along with the Belfry, which I also really like as a base for this team. They're really building the Bat locations in Gotham that are cool.
Yeah.
So Batman's up and about. He's escaped his cell and he's investigating around the old base, sort of like ducking and diving. And he runs into this complete nerd called I hate this name. I can never pronounce it right. Ulysses. There you go. And he's a total nerd who tries to take a selfie with Batman, and Batman basically breaks his arm for it, as he should. Now that's Batman in character, folks.
Notice he doesn't murder him. No, there's no MDK
that's true.
here.
That's true.
No MDK.
No MDK. So this is where we find out sort of the origin of this whole colony thing. Is the what's his face, Colonel Kane, is basically like he's seen how effective Batman is using his methods, but he's combining it with actual soldiers and killing to build this unstoppable army, which is cool because the whole idea that they could beat Batman, and admittedly in a large number, but the reason why they could beat him is because they're using his own methods against him. And secondly, this makes it a deeply personal story for Batman because you really get it, and like after the kid shows him the footage of like this like Bat squad getting in and like just snapping necks and shooting people.
Yeah.
And like you see the anger in Batman's face, like they're using his sting.
It's like it's his fault.
Yeah, and
they perverted it.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use. It's perverting his thing, and and there's his arm breaking that I was mentioning. Damn, that's satisfying.
It is. Just, oof.
Yeah, God. And Colonel Kane comes up and blah blah blah. I'm a villain. I'm going to monologue at you, you son of a bitch.
I love that Batman calls him Uncle Jake.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good. And of course, that's when Batgirl shows up because we didn't mention this, but Tim like tracked them because of signals and shit. Whatever you use. And Kate's basically like, "You think I'm going to pick your side? Fuck everyone, beat the shit out of them." And that's a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Well,
nice
also we
page.
got a teaser about the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Which
right. Yeah.
They've always just used League of Shadows interchangeably with League of Assassins.
Yeah, but
in Begins, it was Shadows because they didn't want to,
yeah,
wanna give that
Assassin
air.
sounds a bit goofy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Here, they're two different things.
Well, it's not so much that they're two different things. It's the League of Shadows is like a higher up rank or a more dangerous rank of the League of Assassins. Like they're related. It's kind of like I don't know, regular Nazi police and then the SS, if you will.
Yeah. What does he say? Like they're used as like a story to scare the League of Assassins.
The League of Assassins, yeah. So it's kind of like, as Jared put it, the League of Shadows is like the WWE, and League of Assassins is NXT. One day you can achieve there.
Why don't you explain for the audience who Jared is?
So Jared's a good friend of mine. He's in the Mild Fuzz group, and he's also
on the
what's that?
Facebooks. I was going to say on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, and we talk wrestling, and so it was a very apt comparison that didn't sink in until he brought it up.
Yeah, wrestling, which oddly right now is going through a rebirth of its own, which is really weird. But
comics and wrestling, it took me 26 years to realize that comics and wrestling are basically the same thing.
They kind of are in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it's weird that because I mean, not to dive into wrestling talk, but when they did this whole thing this last week, it really kind of felt the same as Rebirth. Where like
Yep.
the continuity's still there, but it's like they're fixing things and it feels fresh. Like, what's going on? This is weird. But yeah,
I'm staying the fuck out of this because I've never watched a single bit of wrestling in my
You're
life.
fine. Hey, there's
Yeah,
some good
well.
stuff. If you want, Connor, I can point you in the way. Easy and easy. But anyways, no, I like. So again, the whole League of Shadows thing I thought was real cool because, as far as I know, and I'm not a Batman scholar, this is really the first that we've gotten of the League of Shadows in the comics. Because it always just defaults,
yeah.
to Ra's and the League of Assassins.
Yeah, I can't think of any examples. So
It
it's
was
nice.
weird because earlier in the issue,
Yeah.
you see LOS on the computer.
And you just think,
And I went to League of Shadows because, over the last
Begins.
few years, you kind of, that's been ingrained in our minds. And
what's
then I realized that's not in the comics, so I kind of threw it out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh.
Yep.
What's really cool about this as well, other than building this mythology, is that it means that, okay, we've got the colony for this first arc, but when we get to the second arc, or maybe not even the second arc, maybe they'll put them on the back burner for a few arcs, but this gives us a bigger team of villains to deal with down the line.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've seen Ra's in a while, too. Because you got to assume that Ra's is going to be behind the shadows.
You would think, but I mean, we'll see.
So,
But no, yeah, that was really cool.
yeah. No, I like it's just, again, it's Detective just being consistently great or good.
Yeah.
So
it's a really, really solid issue. But it's almost like I'm not as impressed because I'm used to it. But not in a bad way, but it's just, right now I expect this.
This is the standard quality that you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great, bit more Batman one and a bit more Batman focus in this compared to the rest of the team, but that was fine because the last issue was completely team focused and not Batman focused. So
yeah, and he had to uncover what's going on. I mean, the whole thing of him getting out is in character.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that, and like I said, the whole him like finding this perversion of his whole legacy makes it a bit more personal, which is really
Good
cool.
because that adds this is like his and Kate's like personal arc.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm looking forward to seeing who's next in that sense.
Yeah, because I think they did say that like the second arc would be like a Steph arc, and then it'd be a Cassandra arc, and then it would be Tim or whatever. Like we'd go through them all.
Sure, we'll get Clayface at some point.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'll be a weird
just an
one.
issue of him going on auditions.
Yeah,
I'd read it.
yeah, that'll be good.
So
fun.
like nice character pieces.